Hi everyone, it's been a while. So I had a business trip to Seoul, which is what I'm going to talk about here today in my Korean update. Furthermore, when I returned from Seoul, I had a reinfection of pneumonia, so that was fun. I've been sick for a while. My voice still hasn't recovered, but here I am, because at some point you just gotta keep going on with your life. Anyways, so when I arrived in the Incheon National Airport, this is just one picture I have from there. As you can see, boards written in Korean. Overall, it was actually a really impressive airport. I mean, I thought SFO, San Francisco International Airport, when I arrived there for the first time, it was like one of the most impressive airports I've ever seen. But then when I came to Incheon, that blew even SFO out of the water. So holy crap, they know how to design an airport. Very impressive. This is a picture of my hotel room in Seoul. As you can see, it's kind of a standard hotel room. It was very, very nice, very clean, but nothing too special about the room itself. Overall, though, the hotel was very impressive, and I'll get more into that later. There were some details about it that really just blew me away, and I was not expecting at all. One of them was the bathroom. It was very clean. You know, you had a bath, you had a shower, which you can't see because it's kind of being hidden by the door. You had a toilet, which has like a bidet and all kinds of amazing features, such as heating and different types of bidets and sprays. I had an executive class room, which first of all I wasn't expecting. I thought I was just going to be staying at like a normal hotel or like a motel or something, but it turns out that my company really decided to splurge on me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, my company, because it was an amazing hotel. And as part of the executive membership, I got access to the executive class lounge, in which case they served a food buffet basically every morning and every evening, and it was excellent. That food was excellent. I rarely wanted to venture outside the hotel because it was good enough inside the hotel, which is somewhat problematic on its own. Anyways, this is one picture of one of the food. This is the sidebar of the food buffet. It's not even the main buffet, which I actually didn't even take any pictures of. But yeah, you can see the kimchi, you can see different Korean sides, and this was something they had pretty much every day for the dinner. This was some of the items that I got. We have the sweet pumpkin soup, which is like a very Asian dish. It had some kind of fish dish. This was a beef and squid bulgogi, if I remember correctly. Various types of dumplings, salmon. We have this rice here, this black rice dish, which is actually something I saw all over the place. It's called black rice, I think, but it's this purple rice with beans and other grains on the inside, and it's good taste there. It's very subtle but good flavor, and it's something I ate a lot of while I was in Korea because they served it every day during lunch at my work. There's like these little dried anchovies and these little fermented beans. Yeah, I love fish, and so do Koreans. This is a picture of the dessert bar that they had while I was there, and they had some pretty fancy desserts, different types of mochi, various cakes and tarts and other things, fruits and other stuff, and it was slightly different each day. They always had the mochi, but some of these other items would be different, and it was always delicious. This is a picture of the dumplings. I just thought it looked pretty cool. I like the dumpling baskets. This is one of the tarts I got, and this is also something that was completely unexpected for me. This is gold. Like, you can actually see there's gold flakes on this tart dessert. So I'm getting this like as a free, well, quote unquote, already paid for, or I should say included in the hotel services. I'm eating gold in Seoul the first time I'm there. Not expecting any of that at all. Total shocker, but what an amazing way to start my Seoul experience. This was the hotel lobby. You can see, like, this is a 5-star hotel, JW Marriott in Seoul, Banpo. It's stunning. Like, being there and seeing that majesty in person, is everything shiny, it's clean. The service was absolutely outstanding. If you can afford it, I highly recommend staying at this hotel. It's only like 250 USD per night, so it's not that bad by American standards. Like, for 5-star services and everything else, like in the US, you might be paying thousands of dollars per night, but in here, I guess the USD is powerful compared to Korean won. So yeah, highly recommended. This was a picture of the Marriott from the outside. You can see it's a very impressive building. Some pictures just from around the outside the hotel. Again, just off to the side a little bit, playing with some camera filters. You can see some construction that's going on, so I imagine this place is going to be popping even more in the future. This was my first day at work. My coworkers took me out and treated me some Korean barbecue, and it was absolutely amazing. Kind of surprised me to see the buildings, because as this really Asian style building, I guess, where they use all of the space for words, for advertisements, for names, for anything. I mean, there is no space left on this building that is not occupied, which I thought was kind of interesting because you don't really see that in the US. This is a picture of the Korean barbecue we had. We got all kinds of pork. It was so good. It was very delicious. They know how to make barbecue for sure. One thing I learned about is how to actually properly eat Korean barbecue while I was there. So I've had it a couple times in the US, and to be honest, was never really that impressed. I figured, well, it's just meat, right? I mean, you barbecue it, and don't get me wrong, I love meat. I mean, it's pretty much all I eat. It's just meat. Like, there's nothing special about it. I don't know why everyone's talking about K-barbecue being so amazing. It's just grilled meat. What I found out is what makes it so amazing is the sides, and I don't have a good picture of all of them here, but there's a certain sauce there. There's I don't remember what that was. There's salt. There's a vinegar in there. There are these greens. There's another sauce over here. These roasted garlic, and there's some other things off to the side over here, like some type of seaweed and other sides. And what you do is you take the piece of meat, which is grilled, and you put it on your plate, and then you add one side per bite. So for example, one piece of meat I might eat with this side, the next piece of meat I might eat with the sauce, next piece of meat with the vinegar, next piece of meat with the garlic, etc. And so you're getting all kinds of different and unique flavors each bite. Oh, and obviously there's kimchi around here somewhere. You're getting all kinds of amazing flavors with each bite, and it really does enhance the experience. So next time I try Korean barbecue in the US, I'm going to try to eat it properly and see if it improves my opinion of United States Korean barbecue. Another picture driving around town, Paris Baguette. That's a chain I've seen a lot around here in the Bay Area, actually, but I've never been to it. Maybe I should go to it sometime and see what happens. Yeah, this is a view from my window of my hotel room in Seoul in the Marriott. It's actually a pretty great view. I loved looking at this in the morning. You can see the traffic. It was a pretty busy area, and I was like in downtown area, like right next to Gangnam. Here's looking out the other way, again, off in the distance. You can see town. You can see, I thought traffic in the Bay Area was bad, but traffic in Seoul is very, very bad. As impressive as the airport is, their traffic is equally impressive. They trumped San Francisco on both of those charges, so congratulations, Seoul. This random forest in the middle of the city, which I do not dislike. Don't get me wrong. I think nature's great. Contrastly, this was the view from my workplace, and for obvious reasons, I can't take too many pictures of my workplace. These are the window pane reflections. This lab was kind of off in the countryside. This was in the Shinsage, which was a food mart that was actually attached to the hotel. And let me go back. It was not a food mart. The Shinsage is not a food mart. I mean, a food mart is in the Shinsage. The Shinsage is like a 15-story shopping mall, and 2 floors of that are food marts. And it's kind of like Asian street-style vendors where, each corner here, and then there's one vendor, that's a vendor, that's a vendor, that's a vendor, and there's all kinds of different food that people are selling, mostly quick and easy food. Somewhere around here, there was also like a grocery store. This place was super crowded. I mean, I felt awkward taking pictures of a crowd, so I tried to take pictures whenever there was like a few people around, but it was super crowded every time I was there. Like, it was almost hard to walk around because it was so crowded. Yeah, you can see different food vendors and all that stuff, different sweets and cakes and pastries. I actually tried this rabbit pastry here. I figured, why not? When in Seoul, right? It was terrible. It didn't taste like anything. Like, okay, it had a strawberry ear, which might have tasted kind of like strawberry, but the rest of it was just like a plain old vanilla cupcake, and I didn't even finish it. I was that disappointed with it. So yeah, and one of my friends actually told me, never get the cute designed foods. They always taste bad. Okay, I believe you now. Shinsage. Yeah, I was walking around randomly at night and got this blurry picture of the Shinsage. There's my hotel there. More buildings as I'm walking around, kind of towards Gangnam area. This was the next day. I was walking through the streets of Itaewon, which is a famous place in Seoul. I gotta admit, traveling through Itaewon was probably my least favorite experience of the Seoul trip. I know people always hype it up and they say there's a lot to do there, and maybe I just didn't do any of the things that I was supposed to be doing while there, but I feel like the reason that I describe it as the most unhappy experience was partly because of the people. Here's a 7-Eleven that I found in Taiwan, and you can see there's just all kinds of like Korean goods and articles and items that we don't really see in the US, so I thought it was interesting. Looks good though. I mean, I like to try some of these things. Various drinks and stuff. Some of this is obviously in the US too, but oh yeah, these things, the banana milks, those are kind of, I don't want to say a meme, maybe a stereotype of some kind, like in Korean shows, like, oh, here, have your banana milk. Like, it's kind of a popular thing. I actually tried one. It's actually good. It's not healthy for you or anything, so I don't recommend it. Walking around Itaewon, seeing the random trunks, which I like because, I'm a freaking nerd. But yeah, this sign, it's hard to see, but it says, "Welcome to Korea." This is what I meant when I said that my experience in Itaewon was somewhat unhappy, because I wanted to get a picture of me, like, around here somewhere, the "Welcome to Korea" in the background. Nobody would take my picture. Not a single person. Like, I tried stopping random people. I'd say, "Hey, excuse me, can you take my picture?" And they would just look at me in fear or say, "Oh, no English, no English." And I'm like, okay, fine. Camera juseyo. I'd show them my phone with the camera open and be like, "Picture. "Kamera juseyo," and they would just look at me like I was crazy. Like, it starts with one person who would avoid me, everyone else would see me walk up to someone, get rejected, and then the other people coming down immediately avoid eye contact and then take a couple steps to the side and don't look at me as they're walking by. And like, I found that, like, seriously guys, I'm obviously a tourist. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm looking at a phone, pointing at myself in the background. Like, anyone who looks at me for 2 seconds will clearly see I'm asking for a picture, but not a single person for 15 minutes would take my picture. Yeah, that was a very frustrating experience and honestly demoralized me quite a lot. Yeah. I didn't even try. For the rest of the day, I didn't even try getting a picture anywhere else. So, Taiwan, not a friendly place. Not like you here. For the record, while I'm on the topic, I will say that, like, literally everywhere else, I had no problems whatsoever. It's not like Korea is an unfriendly place or anything like that. It just, for some reason, seems to be Taiwan. Korean people I have found very friendly. This was the souvenirs that I brought back from Korea. Some of you lucky SOBs out there have gotten them from me. So if you haven't got one from me, then you're not my friend. Just kidding. If you haven't got one from me, that probably just means that you don't live close enough nearby for me to bother giving it to you. Ooh, more pictures of the food mart. I spent another day walking around. You can see there's all kinds of skewers and various food dishes. There's a lot going on there. Yeah, this was some stuff I got from the food mart one night. We got some skewers. We got some mochi balls with sesame on the inside. And we got sushi. Then I spent Sunday at the palace. I can't remember the name. Cheongbyuk Palace, perhaps? This is a picture from a cafe overlooking the palace grounds, and you can see it's the ancient Korea where the king used to live, and it was a very cool place to walk through. I mean, like, remember that they didn't really build these structures with nails or anything like that. They built it kind of like Lego style, you could say. So the engineering was interesting and intricate, and everything was crafted to perfection. Like, to see it in person was really inspiring, like the incredible artwork and detail that they have on this stuff. Another picture of the palace. Again, just looking at the exquisite structure here, it was so cool. Yeah, here's a better picture of seeing it up close, kind of in person. You can see the detail, you can see the design and the paint. Of course, it's been restored over time, so who knows what it'll actually look like back in the day, but I like to think that it's a pretty close representation of it. Picture of Ren Zhou Mun. I can't remember. Pretty sure that's the Chinese. Mun means door. Renzhou. I think that's just the name of the place. But yeah, anyways, it's the gate, it's the entrance, and it's very big. This is where officials would stand whenever being addressed by the king. You know, each of these stone blocks has a title on it, and that title determines who is standing next to it as the king would shout his orders to the courtyard. This is the throne room. Throne room, you can see the exquisite design, the light bulbs as they had in the 16th century, obviously very legitimate, and the painting behind the throne. This is a very famous painting in Korea, I'm told. You know, you have the sun and the moon. Wait, is the sun supposed to be the red one or the white one? Anyway, sun and moon, which represent the king and queen, and it is a famous painting in Korea that might be seen on many of their goods and items. Yeah, you can see just the exquisite craftsmanship and design. It looks far more impressive in person. Again, like, photos don't really do it justice. Here, proof that it was actually me there visiting. This is just like one of the random rooms that you can see through. An old style Korean room. It's fascinating to look through. Just the craftsmanship. I love this. It looks so cool. Kind of looks like a really cool hairstyle on top of this door, honestly. Closer up image of the similar style painting in another throne room of some kind, though. Oh yeah, we have this circular door, which I can only describe as very Asian. If you've ever seen like an ancient Asian film, whether Korean, Japanese, Chinese, you see this kind of door. And so I thought it was interesting to see it in real life. It doesn't seem very practical. I mean, I feel like people are going to trip over that, but whatever. Tea house, obviously. Looks very nice and peaceful in the woods. This is Namsan Tower. Namsan Tower. It's not a very good image of it because it doesn't really give you a good idea of what it is. We took a zip line to this spot, and then you can go into here and take an elevator up to this overlook area. And this overlook area gives you an elevated view of Seoul because this whole tower is on the top of a mountain. Through here, you can get some really good views. One of the views from Namsan Tower. It was breathtaking up there. It was really nice. You can see some view of the mountain that we zip lined over and through the rest of Seoul. Grand Hyatt. Yeah, that's a hotel. It's a famous hotel, right? I couldn't find my hotel. I did look for it, though. Here's another picture I took. I really like the contrast of this one. You can see those housing. You know, I bet those houses look really boring on the ground level because they all look the same. And so if you lived there, you'd be like, oh, God, this house is the exact same as the other. It's boring. But when you look from above like this, it looks really cool. Not that you should design cities from like that. That's kind of pointless. Yeah, again, more of the mountainside and Seoul through the distance and the Han River flowing through here. It's very majestic, isn't it? I highly recommend going to check out Namsan Tower if you get a chance. And if I ever returned here, I would probably go at an evening. Might be kind of busy and the line might be kind of long to get up and see the pictures, but it's got to be beautiful when this is all glittering and sparkling at night. More pictures of Nansan Tower. Oh yeah, there's all these locks everywhere, heart-shaped locks. I guess it's like a common spot where you do that. There are fences that were just covered in these locks, and then this little bench here, which been graffitied to perfection, I suppose. Yeah, I got some chicken, and I can't remember the name of it right now. I should probably look it up. But anyways, this was a famous chicken restaurant in Korea. And I gotta say, the Korean fried chicken it lives up to the hype. It is very good. I got two different flavors here. This is like honey chicken, and this is chicken with sauce. I'm really tired. My voice kind of hurts. Anyways, oh yeah, this was a milk that we had at my workplace. Let me read this for you since this is a Korean update video. 맛있는 우유 GT. 맛있는 우유 GT. Good taste. Yeah, it's milk. I mean, it's just milk. It's just carton of milk. But it was like half of the fridge was full of this milk, and it tastes better than the milk I often find in America. Probably because they don't do like all that kind of pasteurization and heat treatment process that kills off a lot of the nutrition inside of it. I don't know. In any case, Koreans really like milk. I do too. And then I visited the Han River. You can see here, these are sculptures of dandelions, which I thought were pretty well made. I don't know what the point of this thing was, though. It was a really ugly structure that was alongside the river. Picture of the river, and there's a bike path that goes along the river that I think you can rent bikes and spend like, I think it takes like an hour to bike the whole trail. That's what I heard, and there's a really good, nice overlook in the area we can picnic and enjoy. Maybe I'll try that next time I go there. Pictures of the river. Yeah, you can see I got good angle of the sunlight. More pictures of the river. More pictures of the river. Stingray River is nice, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's the area where snakes appear. Let me read the Korean here. Paim chum. I can't make that out. Paim chu kyung chi. Yon. That was hard. I don't know if I can read it correctly. It's kind of small. Caution. 조심. 조심. 코심. Is that koshim? Koshim. Ah, interesting. All right, then walking around the area next to the area I went to the Han River is very Asian style streets where, again, you just have these like street mall. You walk through and there's just all kinds of small stores selling their wares. You have this one. You can see there's a little bit more advertisements. A couple people walking around, and you have all kinds of stores, you know, shoe stores, tourist stores, food stores. Food stores would usually sell only like one or two products and just specialize, I suppose. Clothing, backpacks, hats, like everything you can think of. Like it was in these streets. You could find it. I found these fish, and I couldn't tell if these were like fish or eel. I thought it was interesting, so I took a picture because it's not really used to seeing that sort of thing. Welcome to Norunsan Market. Yeah, almost all of the important signs in Korea had English on it. Like, it is a very English-friendly country. Like, you don't need to speak Korean to get around. You can just speak English. It's fine. But I will say that they are very happy when you speak Korean to them and willing to help you out and practice if you're trying to speak Korean with them. So I recommend learning at least basic Korean and trying to use it whenever you get there. Okay, this is among the last places I went with my coworkers. They treated me to this place. They said it's called Stomach Destroyer. That's this Wijang Pagui. Means Wijang Pagui. Means stomach destroyer. I asked them why it's called that, and they said they didn't know. And when we had the food, we still didn't understand why it was called stomach destroyer. However, it was very good. Korean-style barbecue. He said it was southwestern Korean-style barbecue. Anyways, they had this pot, and you know, the fat would drip down into here, and when it was mostly cooked, then they would put it down there, and it would soak, and it would just taste so good. This pork and these veggies, and eventually they put in the glass noodles and all kinds of other stuff. Again, like where you barbecue it, and then you eat it with these sides. We had garlic, we had kimchi, we had the seaweed, we had some type of sauce. We had, I don't remember what this is, but it's basically some type of kimchi. I mean, something like that. And this was my last night in Seoul. I was walking around the streets of Gangnam at night. It was actually really interesting, and I wish I did this earlier, but I was tired because I was jet lagged, and honestly, 90% of the time I was there, I was actually working, so I didn't have a lot of opportunities to walk around. Walking through the streets of Gangnam, it was beautiful, and it was alive. Like, no matter what time you go, it just felt alive, and so it was an interesting experience, and I'd love to go back there. And oh yeah, part of the perks of the hotel was the baths and sauna they had. This is a stock image I found on the internet because you're not allowed to take pictures inside there. And I think this is the women's sauna, not the men's. Yeah, so they had 3 different baths. They had, for the men's bath, it was basically reversed. They had over here, they had a hot bath, which is 44°C, a bath, which is 40°C, and a cold bath, which was 20°C. And it was amazing because I had this routine every day where I would go to the hot bath and the cold bath and the hot bath and the cold bath and the sauna and then the cold bath. And then I'd get out and I felt so good. And to be able to have that as a complimentary service of the hotel and do that every single day while I was there, it was absolutely like one of the highlights of the entire trip. And it was so amazing that it inspired me to look for saunas and spas around here in the Bay Area, although I haven't found really one yet that I would consistently like to go to. But if I can find one to go to on the weekends, chef's kiss. All right, everyone, thank you for watching. That's it for my Seoul experience. This is already long, so I'm just going to cut it out here. Bye-bye.